Sunrise this morning was 6:38, tomorrow 6:39, Sunday 6:40. And let's see, record high for this date was 90 degrees in 1938. Thanks to Kyle Bauer, the owner of the radio station here, and thanks to Bill Bierman for coming in today. It is 7:01. Have a good weekend.
As kids head back to school.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump issued a warning of sorts to the radical left on Thursday, warning that its acts of political violence, if they were to continue, could eventually lead to some kind of backlash from the right. And he says the right could actually do a lot more damage to the left. And he is saying that that is nothing he wants to see on either side. But he says that the left would be wise to tone down its political rhetoric and especially its political violence. The president calling on Russia to end its war against Ukraine 2 days after meeting with Ukraine's leader at the United Nations. The president said it's time for Russia's Vladimir Putin to put an end to the conflict once and for all. At the start of an Oval Office meeting with the visiting Turkish president, Mr. Trump urged Turkey also to stop buying Russian oil while the war is still raging on. Looking to be a strong start on Wall Street today. Right now, the Dow futures up by 132. This is SRN News.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and co-payments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus just makes sense. To learn more, give them a call. They're great to talk to. They'll offer to pray with you each time you call, too. Call now. 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, an NWKS radio station.
Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a loop tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. This past Wednesday morning, a 15-year-old Rexford girl was injured in a car accident north of Colby, according to the Kansas Highway Patrol. It occurred on Highway 83 at County Road 35 in Thomas County. Driver was heading north on 83 and was trying to avoid a deer, but struck a road sign and a power pole, and their car came to a rest. Thankfully, as far as we know, the driver only sustained suspected minor injuries. And here's a little bit more of what's going on at Flatlanders this Saturday.
Then we have the Fall Festival starts officially and is open at 10 a.m. 75 plus vendors that will be lined up. We'll have food trailers, a lot of different things going on downtown. We'll have music going. We'll have live music down at West 12th Street near the Art Center. Their stage will be set up.
For these stories and more area news, go to nwksradio.net for more.
Today it'll be mostly sunny with light south-southwesterly winds around 10 miles per hour and highs in the low to mid-80s. Tonight winds will shift to a north direction around 10 miles per hour with some high cloud cover. Lows will be in the upper 40s to around 50, and there is a chance for some patchy fog as the wind shifts. Tomorrow and Sunday, the weather pattern will become amplified, strengthening south-southwesterly winds gusting 30 to 45 miles per hour on Sunday. Highs will be in the low 80s, but Sunday could be a bit warmer with the windier conditions. Overnight low temperatures will be in the lower 50s. Monday and Tuesday, there's a slight chance for thunderstorms with limited moisture return. We expect less than a quarter inch of precipitation if you get anything, and the risk for severe weather is low. Gusty winds over 40 miles per hour are likely on Monday and have the potential for some blowing dust. Highs will be around 80 and lows around 50. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Your business was built right here, so was ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors, for neighbors. We know what matters to you because it matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bolden loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the insurance agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Puffing, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
And good Friday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz. Broadcast on Goodland's Rocket 1025 and WKSradio.net, as well as the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Glad you've decided to join us here on this September the 26th. It's another Football Friday here on the Blitz, and we are glad that you are with us. I'm Ross Volkmer, Connor Schuh along the way as well. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just a scramble this morning a little bit there. You know how those days go from time to time.
Of course.
Connor. So, yeah, late night last night, doing some high school volleyball, which was fun. Cowgirls pick up a couple of sweeps of Ulysses and Hugoton inside the Max Jones Fieldhouse, which was great, but it was a late night. I mean, I can't imagine it was. I know they're used to it, but it was just like, the Cowgirls played at 3:30 Mountain Time yesterday. They played at 3:30 Mountain Time. That was match number 1. They swept that. They were done by pretty much 4. No, sorry, not 4. About 4:15. Down about 45 minutes, it was over. And then they did not play again until practically 8:15, 8:30. So it was like a 4 or 5 hour wait before they played again.
How'd you spend your 4 hours?
Well, I worked on stuff there because backstory, not to go too deep into the weeds here, but the schedule said, at least the one schedule I had, it was, well, Goodland will play here, then they'll have a game off, and then they'll play again. So they were going to have, it was going to be a game, then no game, and then another game. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go anywhere. But pretty much what happened, learned out was that was not the case, and the schedule was different. So when I learned that, which was later, I worked on things on my computer there for a while I was waiting for that second game. And then I realized that wasn't going to happen. I was like, okay, I guess I better go find something. So then I went back home. I just walked home. I don't live too far away from the Max, so I just walked back home and did a couple things there, and then came back and finished out the night. It was kind of an odd night timing wise, but that's all right. Made it work, I guess. So anyway, late night last night, getting all that stuff done and getting ready for tomorrow's show. But here we are. We're ready to roll on a Friday. A football Friday. We got high school football tonight. Big slate of college football, particularly here in the state of Kansas. Both K-State and KU back in action tonight. So we'll be talking about that in the weekend slate coming up here in just a little bit. Segment 3, I want to touch. I saw something this morning when I got up. I saw that Keisha recently released the new reclassifications for 2026, 2027 for football. So, our school's moving up, our school's moving down in classification. There's one big one that I heard a rumor on last week, thanks to my wife, but I heard one rumor on that was confirmed, and I want to get to that coming up in the Keisha football reclassification coming up in segment 3. We'll get to that. And some thoughts on Thursday Night Football, which was apparently a snoozer until the end. I didn't get to watch really any of it.
It was a fun game in the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth quarter apparently was the only time you wanted to tune in. Arizona. How about that new kickoff rule kind of becoming a factor there?
It's a little weird. I'm still getting used to it.
I just love that they have kickoff returns. I mean, how dumb was it to, kick off the Super Bowl and it was a touchback? That's not cool. Let's see something. I love that they've got the return game back. I don't know if I understand why they do, but that landing zone, this was the thing that happened last night. The ball was kicked and it was a half yard shy of the 20. And because of that, it didn't land in the quote unquote landing zone. And that put the ball at the 40 for Seattle. And then Seattle had one play and they were in field goal range for the Myers winner.
That was ridiculous. And I guess that's what you get with the new kickoff rules. So, hey, happens, right?
I'm not mad about it, but I don't know, maybe a tweaking there. I'm not for sure. But anyway, lots to get to on today. What were you doing last night? I told you I was busy with all kinds of different things. What were you up to?
I watched the game.
Oh, yeah?
I
Deep in the recliner?
Yes. I watched pretty much the entire thing. I got the whole experience, but we'll talk about that later.
All right. Okay. We'll get to that later. Well, we got stuff to get to here in segment number 1. We'll get to some high school football thoughts in just a matter of moments. But last night, like I said, it was a pretty good night of high school volleyball and some other things going on. Goodland, like I mentioned, was there covering that here on Goodland's Rocket 1025. They pick up a pair of wins over Ulysses and Hugoton. They swept. An entertaining first set, particularly against Ulysses. It was a back and forth affair. Saw 5 lead changes, I believe, and it took all the Goodland to the 4th set point to get the win, 29-27 against Ulysses. They get the sweep of the Tigers and the Eagles to get to 12-2. And I saw yesterday that the Cowgirls are now ranked in the most recent KVA rankings with that. It was 10-2 record, but now 12-2 record. They're number 7 in 3A. So pretty cool. Holcomb right behind him at number 8. But Goodland back in the rankings after a year or so hiatus. Goodland was there for multiple years during the really high times, the high tide times of cowgirl volleyball. But a down year last year. Big shout out to the Cowgirls. They won 8 matches last year. They've already won 12 this year. So much improved. Looking like a really good volleyball team, a team that's going to be a tough out come postseason time. Not saying they're going to make it to state tournament. It's a hard thing to make it to the state tournament since they've kind of redone it. But maybe a team that could make some noise in the postseason. Pretty impressive there. Colby was also there. Got to watch the Lady Eagles a little bit, and friend of the program, Shelby Mosier, coached them. They're 5-14 after going 1-1 in Goodland. They won over Hugoton, but then lost to Ulysses in 3. So a split last night for the Lady Eagles. St. Francis took on Dundee County Stratton up in Nebraska. It was a 3-0 sweep for Dundee County Stratton. And Rollins County, the week of the reverse sweep, they had 2 reverse sweeps. I think it was on Tuesday night. They had 2 more reverse sweeps last night of Trigo and Greeley County. So, my goodness, that was a great showing from Rollins County, a 4-0 week, and they did it all, I believe, on reverse sweeps. That was impressive. Also yesterday, the Norton Cross Country Invitational. I'll make sure I'm more prepared for this for you, Connor, but Quinter boys continued their domination. They finished in first place. They scored 30 total points. They had 3 guys finish inside the top 5, led by Kendrick Selensky, who ran with a time of 17 minutes, 16 seconds. But Ashton Katz won it in first place, the Norton senior, just under 17 minutes, 16:58. I don't know about those times. How do those rank in cross-country knowledge?
I'd say 16:58 was pretty good, but
17 is where you want to be under 17? What was your fastest time again?
17:53. I think it depends where
They're all faster than you, but still not amazing.
We ran in D1 where I was. So you'd see kids. I think the best kid the year we ran at state, he finished with a 14:30.
14:30. Wow.
Yeah,
Hammer down.
There were
Good
some,
Lord.
I think he went and ran at Oregon. If that
was it all downhill? No, I'm joking. It couldn't have been all.
It was a weird course. There was we ran on a horse racing track a little bit. It was bizarre place.
Interesting. Watch out for some steps there. Yeah, don't step in that. Also, Michael Hafner from Hoxie had a good showing. He finished in 4th place, 17:30 was his time. But Quinter taking home the title there. Oakley finished in 4th place up there in Norton, led by Aaron Samuelson and Jethro. I think it's Chrysler. Those 2 guys with the top 10 finishes. On the girls' side, not as much local success. Golden Plains coming in 3rd, Quinter in 4th. Golden Plains did have a solid showing from Elizabeth Weiner. She finished in 5th place. Adeline Meyer came in 7th. They sandwiched Jacelyn Gable of Goodland, who came in 6th. But it was Avery and Tara Boydston from Ellis. I believe they are siblings. I would be surprised if they're not. Their age, they have the same last name, and they're aged about the correct time, you'd think, being senior and freshman. They finished 1st and 2nd. There in the girls' 5,000 meters for cross country yesterday. So that was the Norton Cross Country Invitational. And then probably the story of yesterday was Goodland Cowgirl Golf again. They were dominant down in Scott City. They won the tournament. They had 4 of the top 5 placers. 4 of their golfers finished inside the top 5. Allie Cure atop the leaderboard with a 12 over 80. Sadie Cedarstrom with an 18 over 86. And Tori Jones with a 19 over 87. 1, 2, 3 for the Cowgirls. Colby's Braylon Stupa came in 4th before Natalie Cure finished in 5th with a 22 over 90. Kaylee Glover for Goodland medaled for the first time. She came in 13th place, but the Cowgirls shot a ridiculous 343. So we were visiting with Coach Goods on Wednesday. Was that Wednesday?
I think so.
Yes. So, and she said, we got to get that. So as a team, we got to get our score down into the 350 range. Well, they just said, heck with that. Let's get it into the 40 range. So
I was going to say, I think
dominated.
every time you bring up their scores, they just get a little bit lower, little by little, every single time. It's pretty impressive.
One thing I like about Coach Goods is she'll post some of her thoughts on Facebook after the day. And the Cowgirls, she called it a crazy score of 343. It was absolutely nuts, but every single person had a really, really good day. It may not have been a great, but they like the 3, 4, 5, and 6 or 4, 5, and 6 golfers all had kind of career days. It was a really, really good. All 6 girls placed in the top 15. That is the first time it's ever happened in cowgirl golf history. So a little bit of history there. Really, really good. So yeah, very, very good. Like I said, wow. And I said that they had pictures posted on Facebook. They were all wearing black. They were going to the other team's funerals yesterday is what they were doing.
Jeez.
They stomped them. What a showing from cowgirl golf yesterday. By the way, Colby finishing in second place with the 399. That's 66.
There we go.
That's 66 shots behind the cowgirls at this point in time. But hard to beat a team. It's just like cross country when you got 3 of the top 5 finishers or 4 of the top 5 finishers. Hard to compete with that.
Tough to beat that.
That is hard to overcome that for sure. So, like I said, yesterday, a busy day in local sports, but there's a quick recap of all that. Oh, forgot yesterday some football too. Weskin took on Western Plains. They won 56-0. It was 46-0 at the end of the first quarter. So Weskin taking care of business over Western Plains. Tonight, plenty more high school football is on the docket. You've got Tri-Plains Brewster hosting Golden Plains for homecoming. We'll see if the Bulldogs of Golden Plains can get back on the right foot after some struggles for the last couple of weeks. Wheatland Grinnell will play host to Logan Palco. You have Shiloh hosting Northern Valley. That would have been a huge game just a couple of years ago, but both teams have kind of lost a lot of key pieces due to graduation. Decatur Community hosting St. Francis for homecoming. Could be a big game. St. Francis is 3-0. Decatur Community's been a very solid opponent so far this year. Solid team. Rollins County will host Hill City. Could be another interesting game. Quinter going to Ness City. Hoxie at Stockton. Wallace County at Dighton. Dighton's had a tough start to this year. I think they're 0-3. The Wildcats could be on their way to a 4-0 start. Oakley, it's been a tough start. Got that win against Norton, have dropped the last 2, but they go to Syracuse tonight. Jeff Hennick's crew. Got a good feeling they're going to get back in the win column for the Oakley Plainsmen. We'll see. And then you've got Goodland hosting Holcomb and Colby playing host to Hugoton in a pair of GWAC games. And so teams from the south bussing up to the north for some football here tonight. You've had some time to get prepared for Colby and Hugoton. What are you thinking as you head into tonight's contest on 100.3 The Ride?
Well, Hugoton's going to be the most run-heavy team Colby has faced all year. They run the wishbone. They run the triple option, and they are just they're gonna hammer that. I mean, their quarterback Miguel Hernandez has only thrown 15 passes this year in 3 games, and they're 3-0. I mean, they're really
the old passing adage.
What's that?
I think it was Woody Hayes who said this. When you pass the ball, 3 things happen and 2 of them are bad. One is you complete it, that's good. The other 2 is it's either incomplete or intercepted. So
now that you say that,
that was the great Woody Hayes who said
that's exactly right. Because what's funny is I talked to their head coach, Jay Witt, yesterday. Awesome guy. And he said that exact quote when I asked about the triple option. So
we all come from that same triple option tree. We all think the same way, I guess, apparently.
Yeah. So it's, talking to Coach Mosier yesterday too, he said he feels really good about how his guys rebounded off of that last game. I mean, it doesn't even need to be said. It was a tough one, but said
good on them if they can flush that, because that had to be, I could understand a loss, but to lose kind of how you did, that one's really got to sting. I would think.
But he said some leaders stepped up in practice and seemed like the guys are rallying pretty hard. And it seems like there's a different vibe, which is good.
Well, they're certainly going to need it, because when you play a team like Hugoton, and by a team, I mean a system like Hugoton, you have to be just unbelievably fundamentally sound. Just so good. Yeah. You're going to, they run kind of they call it kind of a flex bone is how they do it. You'll have 2 wings and then a fullback behind the quarterback. And then, the way like Air Force and Army run it, they're under center. But the way that Hugoton does it most of the time is out of the pistol. And so you have to be so assignment sound. You need to have your interior defensive lineman be able to stop the dive. You have to have your defensive end be able to stop the quarterback on the pitch. And then you have to have the cornerbacks and the secondaries and even outside linebackers sometimes. Well, outside linebackers help with the quarterback sometimes. You got to have that secondary come up and get the pitch man and everybody else run there. It's so difficult to defend. And even though and here's the thing, you may have it bottled up for a quarter, for, a half, but they don't care.
It wears
just
you
gonna
down.
continue to pound at you because they know at some point in time it's going to bust. The dam will break, and we're going to have a big play, and it's going to result in 6, which makes it just, it's a real, you got to have some great willpower going into these type of games defensively if you're
Got to be tough.
and hopefully, if you're tackling a sound and your assignment sound defensively, you're going to be in a good spot to be in this game. Hopefully, from according to what you've said, Maxon Smiley gets back on the right side of things. It was a tough game last week for him, and the Eagles have got to find something on offense. I'm still surprised they got shut out down at Cimarron.
I know. I think that was an anomaly. I'm pretty confident that they'll be back into shape offensively.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound negative here. I'm just curious from your perspective. Do you think they could have possibly been an oversight? Sometimes you go into a game and like, I think we can win this game. We're good. We're good.
On whose side? Are you talking about last week or this week?
Last week. We don't know about this week yet.
It's possible. I mean, it seemed like they were ready for anything because a team like Cimarron, they played 2 of the best teams in 3A ball the weeks before. So, and they got clobbered, but it's hard to gauge. So I don't know if it was necessarily an oversight. Maybe a little bit when you have a score that,
because sometimes you just look
like
at the score and like, oh, they've scored 6 points this year or whatever it might have been. Like, oh,
yeah, it was only 6.
Yeah, we've got this figured out. That happens.
It's definitely possible. It's human nature.
I know visiting with a couple of the Cowboys seniors this week on our senior spotlight, and I visited with them, and they were talking about how we kind of overlooked Oakley a little bit, and we shouldn't have done that. We knew they were a good team, but we saw they had gotten beat 33-0 the previous week, and so I think we thought that we were going to run over them, and it didn't happen. It happens. It's an oversight. It happens because
at every level.
Exactly at every level. But I don't know. That's a fascinating game to see tonight between Colby and Hugoton, and boy, and 2 vastly different styles. Colby, who wants to throw the ball around the yard a lot, against the Hugoton squad that says we're just going to line up and run it at you. Try and stop us.
I'm excited to see how that turns out, those 2 styles. I feel like there's potential for it to be a high scoring game. And last year Hugoton was, I think, just as good as they are now, and Colby got them. So we'll see.
Hugoton definitely last year was good. They were a little bit younger, inexperienced. They were, I think when Colby played them, which was once again early in the season, they were still kind of finding their footing, and Hugoton definitely got better as the season went on because of that experience. 2 years ago, Hugoton had a really good team. They were loaded with some great pieces, and since then they've kind of turned it around, and then last year they kind of were rebuilding, particularly in the backfield with Miguel Hernandez was a first-time starter. I think there's a young man by Isai Guayardo, I think is his name, number 8. He was a guy that was young, but has come together. So really good here. He's at least last year he was a big contributor for them.
He's your leading runner at fullback.
Yeah. He's the hammer. So fascinating game tonight over there in Colby. And the best part for Connor is he doesn't have to travel down there to Hugoton. You don't need to can't wait to give a report on your first trip to Hugoton, Kansas. I can't wait for that report.
Next year, I think, right?
Basketball season, baby. You've got me coming.
That's right over my head. It's creeping up.
It is. It's going to be here before you know it. Trust me. Yeah. But Colby hosting Hugoton tonight on 100.3 The Ride pregame at 6 o'clock Central, I'm guessing, correct?
Yes.
Yep, 6 Central time. You can listen to Colby hosting Hugoton with Connor Schuh. Yours truly will be at Cowboy Stadium for the 4th consecutive week. I cannot remember a time in my time of covering Cowboy football where we started the season off with 4 straight home games. What are we, Florida State or something like that, taking on? I don't know what we're
start.
Yeah, getting this home cooking has been great. Not having to travel anywhere. We'll make up for that in the second half of the season with 3 out of 4 games being on the road. But the Cowboys take on Holcomb tonight. Goodland comes into this game, I would think, with some good confidence. You stomped Southwestern Heights, who you were completely better than, and that's a Heights team that's got a lot of soul searching to do. And then you took on an Oakley team that was gritty and tough, as you would expect from a Jeff Hennick team, and you were able to find a way to get the win. You forced 4 turnovers, defensively pitching a shut. Back-to-back weeks they pitch a shutout. I got to go back and look, see if the Cowboys when the last time they did that. That had to have been a while ago. Back-to-back weeks of pitching a shutout. But, winning 7-0 for the first time since 1987. It's the confidence is feeling pretty good. But here's the thing: when you turn the page and come to Monday after that win, and you see Holcomb's on the schedule, and if you're a Goodland fan or a Goodland Cowboy or a coach, you're like, here's Holcomb. And Holcomb has been a team that Goodland has had, if I'm being honest, zero success against for the last decade plus. Last year was one of the closer games that the Cowboys have had with the Longhorns in some time. It was still a 2-touchdown game. Holcomb is a juggernaut. Last year, they made it all the way to the state semifinals before they lost to the ultimate juggernaut in Andale. And then here's the amazing thing about Holcomb tonight that I find fascinating. Holcomb last year had a team that was loaded full of upperclassmen, in particular seniors. They had a huge senior class. 4 out of their, I think all 5 of their offensive linemen at the end of the year were seniors. They had a senior quarterback. They had senior wide receivers. They only had a couple of underclassmen playing on both sides of the ball, or guys that were not seniors playing on both sides of the ball. So the typical person, the typical fan who doesn't follow Holcomb football all the time would sit there and say, and I remember doing this on Monday, going through the roster, and I was like, well, I don't know that name. I don't know. That's a new name. That's a new name. Don't remember that name. You go through the roster, and you're like, this is a whole bunch of new guys. I mean, this is a new team. And then you turn on the film and you watch, and you're like, this is the same exact team that we've always seen. They do not rebuild. They just reload. This time, they've got a whole new offensive line that's still big, over 200 pounds per man up front, which is sometimes rare to find at this level. They have a quarterback that's just an absolute freak, and Cooper Cranston. There were rumors of him last year as a freshman being an unbelievable athlete. He was solid, but this year he's going to showcase it as a quarterback. He's out there, and he's a big guy. Sophomore, 6'2", 200 pounds. That is a big sophomore. They don't make them that big. That's your quarterback.
Jeez.
And that's not even talking about probably their best player in Corbin Johnson, who was a 3-sport star, but got an honorable mention all-state. I think it was an all-state linebacker last year. He was a running back for them, a first-team all-league running back. They're so good that he doesn't even play running back this year. He's at wide receiver now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, I do believe, if rumors are true, he unfortunately got really sick in the spring, possibly lost some weight and hasn't been able to gain it back. So that might be one reason why he's not playing as much running back. But still, think about that. Your best player, your running back from last, you're one of your best players, your running back from last year, who ran all over the Cowboys, by the way, and had multiple touchdowns, isn't even playing running back this year. He's at wide receiver. I mean, they're
when you got the hands to do that, right?
I guess. I mean, he's a very skilled guy. I mean, he's a 3-sport star. He's an all-league caliber player in football, baseball, and basketball. He's really good as Corbin Johnson. But the Cowboys are going to have their hands full. And on top of that, they're going to be missing one of their key pieces due to injury. So it's a very big hill to climb tonight for Goodland against Holcomb. Now, I don't want to sit here and say it's not plausible. It's not possible to win. I mean, anything's possible if you get enough breaks. The Cowboy defense is going to have to go out there and play really good. They're going to have their best game. They're going to have to stack their 3rd consecutive really good game against, no doubt, the best offensive team they've faced. I don't know, maybe Ray's up there, I should say. Ray's good offensively, but this will be a tough challenge tonight for the Cowboys. And Goodland's going to have to find something offensively. Holcomb has got a great coaching staff led by Trey Teeter. They're going to load the box, and they're going to force Goodland to not run the football. And so the Cowboys are going to be forced to pass, and we'll see if young freshman Reed Cure can find a way to find some momentum, some confidence in the passing game. Not that he can't do it, but can the line hold up, and can they give him the time to make the throws? A lot of question marks. So tonight, no doubt, a tall task for the Goodland Cowboys as they host the Holcomb Longhorns. We'll have coverage right here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. You can listen on IndyBKSradio.net, and video streaming available through the Goodland Voice as well. So I invite you to tune on in and catch that game between Goodland and Holcomb tonight. But yeah, very, very tall. I think, like I said, I don't. It's not impossible, but it is a big mountain to climb tonight for the Goodland Cowboys to try and get a win against Holcomb. So we'll see how it all goes. Let's get to a break. We're way past due, as I thought we would go on a first segment. We'll take our first break. When we return, we will get to the weekend slate. Plenty of things coming up for Kansas and Kansas State, the Chiefs, Rockies, and Royals. We'll get to the weekend slate, get a quick thoughts on that. And then don't forget a little bit later on, some changes to classifications for football. And it's pretty big for one area school. We'll get to that next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a loop tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Group and your morning market update. It is September 26th. East corn, 424 3/4. March 26 corn, 441 1/2. May 26 corn, 415 1/4. December KC wheat, 509 1/2. March 26 KC wheat, 530 1/2. May 26 KC wheat, 544 1/2. November soybeans, 1012. January 26 soybeans, 1031 1/4. March 26 soybeans, 1047 3/4. Dow Jones futures are currently up 205 points at 46,476. S&P 500 futures are currently up 20 points at 6,680. NASDAQ futures are currently up 62 points at 24,691. Gold is currently up $11.30 at 3,782. Crude is currently up 30 cents at 65.28. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our freedom pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Law, Tyler Gosch, Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. In Colorado, John Hankey and John Stiles, 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Hey, Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
At Hogemeyer, our pride is homegrown. We are right here to serve these families and fields. Right here to fight through storms and surprises. Right here with smarter agronomics, better yield performance, and world-class corn and soybean products, backed by Corteva Agriscience. We'll always be loyal and local, so you, our neighbor, always get the right seed. Learn more at golocal.therightseed.com.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
A sad update here. Checking out the Ryder Cup. It's not good for the U.S. early on out in New York State. Right now through the foursomes, you've got 3 of the 4 foursomes leading. Pretty, and 2 of them convincingly. Oberg and Fitzpatrick are leading Scheffler and Henley by 4 through 10 holes. Scotty's letting us down, Scotty.
He's supposed to be the guy, too.
Yeah. Him and then McIlroy, Fleetwood up 4 over Morikawa and English.
McIlroy and Fleetwood is a pretty good
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Then you got John Rahm, and I think it's Ty Hatton is who it is out there, against DeChambeau and Justin Thomas, and they're up 1. Only Schauffele and Cantlay are up 1 over McIntyre and Victor Hovland at this point in time, but not a good start for U.S. golf. Not a good start in the Ryder Cup. Just check that out during the break. So tough. Fun weekend, though. Always love the Ryder Cup. Great crowds. Love the crowd energy. It's a fun weekend on the weekend slate. We got lots to get to here coming up on the weekend slate. A couple of 3 college football games. We'll only touch on Chiefs and Ravens since the Broncos play on Monday. We'll get more on thoughts on that game a little bit. And then, of course, the regular season comes to a close for the Royals and Athletics. Let's actually start there. Royals and Athletics and Rockies at Giants. After the Rockies were swept by the Mariners, the Royals were able to pick up a game over the the Angels, not the A's, but the Angels is who they were get the win 9-4 last night. But tell you, talk about a tough end of the season for the Royals. You don't make the playoffs like you kind of thought you would, and you have to wrap up your season in Sacramento.
Not great. And it's still probably going to be close because the A's have an incredible offense. So you still have to kind of battle for those last couple of wins if you want to come out nice.
So a tough weekend. So once again, the season will come to an end for the Royals and the Rockies. The Rockies 6-2 losers in Seattle. That's their 116th loss of the season, the most in the NL since 1962. I tell you what, it's going to be close. I mean, I know that they have secured themselves to not be the worst team. They're not going to get to 120, but I'm telling you, they could get to 119. That is a absolute possibility.
I think that was. I'll always remember. You said 118. I said 119.
I said 118.
Right in the line.
So if they get one more win, I could be in the safe there, but I don't know. It's not looking good. I mean, how would you be? I mean, if you were on the Rockies, I mean, how would you take this last couple weeks of the season? I mean, you have got to be. You would think you're just on coast mode, right? I mean, this season's been over for months, and we're at the end. I mean, I guess if you're the Rockies and you're bringing up some young guys, some guys are out there trying to prove a point. Say, hey, keep me around
all year.
I mean, well, you'd think, but they're digging deeper into this minor league system to find even more guys to see, is there anybody worth a darn? Because I think that, I mean, if you visit with any Rockies fan or expert, they're going to say there's not many pieces on this team that I would keep. If there's a way to, not re-sign them or get them or trade them away for prospects, I think you do it. And besides maybe Hunter Goodman, maybe Brenton Doyle, there's just not much on that Rockies team.
Yeah, you're trying to trade a lot of those pieces away. I mean, you could talk about keeping Zeke Tovar. I mean, at this point, he had a good year, but you probably try to trade Moniak unless he's a free agent in the offseason, because this is probably the highest value he's going to have ever. So try to get some prospects for him.
Yeah, we'll see. But Royals and Athletic, we'll talk more on what the Royals can do. I think they just got to do what they should have done going into this year, but didn't get it done when they get to the offseason. But plenty of football this weekend. Busy Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Both K-State and KU will be in action. KU hosting Cincinnati. K-State hosts UCF. I said on the Power 5 that these were both my honorable mention game. Which one of these two is more intriguing?
It's, at least for me, it's pretty easy. It's the KU-Cincy game. I mean, I just think those are two teams who are going to do more in the Big 12 this year. And this is, again, like we talked about, kind of a tryout for that upper echelon of the Big 12. And K-State and UCF, I mean, UCF's a little better, but it kind of feels like a battle of not basement dwellers at this point, but teams that just don't really seem like they're going anywhere. I mean, obviously you never know. We're only 4 games through, but just the prospects of the long term for the KU Cincinnati game, that intrigues me more.
I mean, the K-State game, honestly, has kind of crept into me more and more as I think about it, because you've had a bye week to make any corrections that you need to make. And there's a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. Yes. There's a lot of corrections. The question is, how do those corrections help you, or are you just right where you are when you started this week? That's what I want to know. I mean, are we going to notice anything different? Like, Once again, can we take, like we talked with Riley Gates this week, can we take the shackles off of Avery Johnson? Can we let this guy run, please? Please run our quarterback.
It seems like they're trying to protect him, which is fair, but he doesn't have enough ability as a pocket passer to just sit and do that a lot. They do need to let him roam around a little bit and scramble and kind of be a little more creative.
K-State, by the way, 6.5-point favorites at home over UCF.
That's sure.
A little rich, according to Connor Schuh, is what he thinks. But, I mean, they got to take the shackles off of him. They got to say, all right, what we've tried to do is not working. Avery, run, buddy. We're going to run you 15 times a game. Then that's going to open up the passing game more than likely. I don't know if I saw an article yesterday that Goodland native Lincoln Cure, they're starting to get him in the mix a little bit more. He got his first start at Arizona. We'll see if he has an impact in this game today. He
was hurt, right?
Yeah, dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
He had his first start against Arizona last time out. Didn't have a catch. I think they threw it to him once, but it got batted down at the line of scrimmage. So we'll see if they get him cooking. Once again, no offense to Lincoln, I don't think him being out there and playing is going to make the massive difference. It comes down to running the football and being able to stop UCF defensively, which, by the way, just a ridiculously stupid stat. Scott Frost is 16-0 in his last 16 games.
What?
Let me think that. Sorry. Is it? Yeah, because they're 3-0.
No way.
Yeah, 16-0 in his last. He's 16-0 in his last 16 games. Remember, because when he was at UCF, they went on that run and won every single game, including beating Auburn.
Oh, in his last 16 with UCF. I see what you're saying now.
Yes, in his last 16 games with UCF, he is 16-0.
Okay, that year was so fun.
Florida. That was a crazy year.
I loved that team.
It was nuts.
Shaquem Griffin. I mean, he was such a cool story.
The one-handed monster.
Yeah,
I mean, it was great. Mackenzie Milton. It was a fun team. Absolutely, it was. But then Scott left for Nebraska. Now he's back at Central Florida, where he has started off the year 3-0. Not a dominant 3-0. Although last week they took care of North Carolina pretty handily. Yeah. So, I mean, once again, I don't know. I am interested in this game for the facts that Scott Frost has not lost since he's been at Central Florida. It seems like. And K-State, golly, they got to have something there, don't they? I mean, if you don't show a pulse after the bye, you might as well just throw in the towel. This season is done. This season.
Would they fire Kleiman?
God, why would you do that? I'd be surprised. It's once again, okay, you want to fire him? Who are you going to get?
Yeah, I mean, you're waiting for the offseason.
Because guess what? No offense, you're in the Big 12. You're not in the Big 10. You're not in the SEC. You don't have the kind of money that those programs have. And so big-time coaches aren't going to want to come there unless they want to go get Colin Klein, which, fine. You want to go get the Texas A&M offensive coordinator and former K-State great. Fine, if that's what you want to go do. But, that's a first-time head coach there at Kansas State, not a guy that really has any experience.
Yeah.
So where Kleiman had head coaching experience. And in an era where you have to pay big buyouts to get rid of coaches and you need that money to help pay players, there's only so much room in the budget for this kind of stuff. So I'd be surprised, but we'll see. We will see. I think it's way too early to pull the plug, but we'll see. And then Kansas-Cincinnati, like you said, great quarterback matchup. Great quarterback matchup. Brendan Sorsby is a dude, and so is Jalen Daniels. So love the quarterback matchup right now. KU favored at home, by the way, by 4.5 points. And then Colorado hosting BYU. I think it's so dumb. The media was asking Coach Prime about is this a revenge game for the bowl game when BYU routed you?
No.
I was like, no. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not.
Our guys were focused on the NFL draft and the bowl game. We weren't focused on the bowl game. And now we're in the regular season. We got a whole bunch of different guys. Yeah, I don't love Colorado's chances in this game against the BYU squad. And once again, it's a late kickoff. I'll tell you what, Coach Prime is in prime time is playing and coaching in prime time. I mean, 8:15 Mountain. That is a late kickoff again. And it was late last week against Wyoming too. So very, very late. Connor will be watching it from the back of his eyelids at that point in time.
Yes.
That game. And then Chiefs hosting the Ravens on Sunday. Like I said before, the fascinating thing about this game is that the loser of this game, barring a tie, I guess there could be a tie, but the loser of this game will be 1-3. And that's unbelievable considering it's the Ravens and the Chiefs, two of the better teams in the NFL the last few years. Nuts.
Crazy.
Ridiculous. So I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a challenging game what do you think Kansas City has to do?
I think they have to neutralize Derrick Henry, which is tough, but you know who actually did that? The Browns did that. Held him 20 yards. So it's possible. And the Chiefs have a good defensive line. I think it's very possible, but I mean, even if they do that, I mean, Lamar can easily still beat him with his arm, and they just can't make mistakes on the offensive side. I think a combination of that is your winning recipe, and just maybe seeing Mahomes play a little bit more like himself, because that Ravens defense isn't, at least through these first few games, it's not what it's supposed to be. Like, they have the guys, but they haven't been playing like the guys. That's the thing.
I think it comes down to the Chiefs being able to find some sort of resemblance or some sort of identity in the running game. Besides, it's not. I mean, when Patrick Mahomes is your leading rusher, that's not good. You need to have a running back find the way. I do think the defense will play solid. I think it will be a good competitive game. I mean, Chiefs are by the way, Chiefs are home dogs, 3-point dogs at home, which is weird to see that over the last few years, but that's where they stand. And I saw a great article. Go check this out on CBS Sports. There was an article talking about the Chiefs, and they said, no need, do you need to worry if you're a Chiefs fan? Well, if you look back at the recent history of Chiefs, the first quarter of the year, first part of the year is not always beautiful. They may have gotten the wins in previous years, but it wasn't pretty. I mean,
last year it was all close games.
Right, exactly. But if you even continue to go back, like when Mahomes began, back before COVID, and you look at it all, they have all the instances. They can go back and say, just look at this year, they struggled with this. The year they lost Tyreek Hill, they struggled with that. They struggled. They didn't have this. But guess what? They have Mahomes and they have Reed, and they figure it out when it matters the most as the season gets rolling. So it's a fascinating article. Go read that on CBS Sports. Talk about the Chiefs, how you really shouldn't freak out if you're a Chiefs fan. More than likely, they're going to figure this out, and they could make a statement by knocking off the Ravens on Sunday afternoon. Okay, that's the weekend slate. Let's get to our timeout. We'll be back with our final thoughts on this week, including Acacia football reclassifications. And an interesting school is moving in a direction that is a little surprising, but understandable. It's the times. Next, here in the Morning Blitz.
Mark your calendars. The Flatlander Fall Festival hits Goodland September 26th and 27th. It all kicks off Friday with Friday Night Fusion, live music, and free barbecue at Chambers Park. Saturday, Main Street explodes with over 50 vendors and activities, the car and bike show, food, and live music for the whole family. That night, the ATV Big Air Tour at Sherman County Speedway, followed by the Cruise Parade at 8. It's the Flatlander Fall Festival in Goodland, September 26th and 27th. Don't miss it.
Blaine is back at Paradise Spas. Yes, the man, the myth, the hot tub legend has returned. And he's turning up the heat with deals on new and used hot tubs that'll make your backyard the envy of the neighborhood. Buy one now and Blaine will throw in a gas fire pit absolutely free. That's right. Bubbles for your body, flames for your s'mores, all in one sweet package. Paradise Spas. Blaine's back, the tubs are hot, and the deals are on fire.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Hungry for something local and delicious? Come to Traditions Restaurant in Goodland, where the burgers and steaks are always sizzling, the service is top-notch, and every meal feels like home. Plus, don't forget, Freedom Hall is the perfect event space for your next party, meeting, or celebration. Stop by Traditions today.
When you work hard, make sure you have a service that works hard for you. With reliable coverage and the latest devices, you can go farther with Nextech Wireless. Right now, get an iPhone 16 Pro and an Apple Watch 10 on us. That's right, on us. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace.
Sports talk that's fast, fresh, and always on point.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, a couple minutes left to go on the program today. Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, here's your final thoughts in on the FNB Bank text line, 785-899-2220. Just like listener Michael, our great Broncos fan. He believes he's saying rock chalk this morning, and also Burrowhead needs to get rocking. Is what he says. Go Broncos.
Burrowhead.
Thanks, Michael. So yesterday I saw that Keisha has announced its classifications for 25-26 and then for the 26 and 27 football. So what that means, so once again for those who, and for Connor, because we got to help explain him, hold his hand through some of these things for a little while, but every year they go out and they got to reclassify based upon numbers in the schools. And so looking at the reclassifications, and I'll start with just regular classification. So this applies for this year's basketball and baseball, so fall, winter, and spring sports seasons. A few schools that are moving around a little bit, like Phillipsburg is moving up from 2A to 3A. I did see that Rollins County is moving up from 1A to 2A for the spring sports season. Hill City is dropping down to 1A from 2A, just a few of the regional schools that are on the move and changing classifications. But then I saw the football one, and I had heard rumors of this, but I didn't know it to be quite true yet. But I saw the football one, and this applies for next year. So next year, in football, it's different because sometimes when you move up and you move down, you also lose or gain players. And most of the time in football, if you're moving down, you're going down, and you're probably going to stay down. And there was a big one that moved down. I saw that's going to be moving down for next year, and that would be Oakley. Oakley football is going from 2A down to 1A, meaning that they are going from 2A, I should say from 1A football down to what is 8-man D1. So Oakley is losing, they're not going to be playing 11-man football, which leaves Colby and Goodland as the only 11-man football teams out here in pretty much the extreme northwest side of Kansas. And it's a sad deal. Oakley football, I remember when I first got here, I covered it in the area game of the week with the great Randall Rath, who was the head coach there for a long time, and the Plainsmen were great. And then just most recently, they played in a state championship in 2020. They played in a state title game, came up short against Olpe. But the Plainsmen are moving down to 8-man football. And the sad thing is that you just don't ever see, teams go from 8-man Division I up to 11-man again. Once you kind of go down to 8-man, that's just kind of where you are. And unfortunately, it's just a sign of the times, particularly in smaller communities. You're seeing a lot more. You saw it a lot more here where 8-man teams are dropping down to 6-man. For example, Wheatland Grinnell is going to be dropping down fully to 6-man next year. Brewster and Winona Tri-Plains are going down to a 6-man. By the way, that's another interesting fact for those who don't know. Brewster and Winona Tri-Plains will not be co-opted next year. They will be separate schools on their own, which is interesting. I've heard there's some drama and stuff there in those communities, which happens. But they're not going to be co-oping. And so Brewster will be by itself and Tri-Plains will be by itself starting next year, like they were before they came together. And now they're separating again. And like I said, but to me, the biggest thing was Oakley moving down from 11-man to 8-man. And it's a sad deal. I just find it to be a sad thing. These communities just continue to get smaller and smaller, and less kids means, less opportunities to play, 11-man football in this case. Very tough.
Hey,
and then one more thing, Oakley, on a side note, though, if there is a guy who their head coach, Jeff Hennick, former head coach at Wallace County, coached 8-man football there for a long time, led the Wildcats to some really good times, including, I think, a state championship game. He's the right man for the job. He'll do a great job there, leading them in 8-man football. And here's the other thing. But if there is a positive, at least initially when you drop down, you have more kids than everybody else. You're one of the bigger schools. Probably means you're going to have a lot of success. So look for Oakley to be really good next year at 8-man football, would be my guess. Be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sadness for 11-man school going down to 8-man there. Hoxie was 11-man not that long ago. They've been 8-man ever since. And now Oakley's in that same exact boat. Kind of sad to see, but that's the way the things are moving. Anything you want to hit on Thursday Night Football from last night?
Honestly, I thought it was a fun game. Seahawks dominated early. Seems like the Cardinals couldn't do a thing in the first half. That Seattle D-line is pretty great, but Kyler started to connect with Marv a little bit more in that second half and seemed to get his confidence back, and they tied it up. But Seahawks, you mentioned that kickoff rule earlier, got him in position for Myers to drill a game winner, and Seahawks may be the team to beat in that division.
At least they're in the front runners at this point in time. All right, on to the walk-off and picks of the weekend.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
All right, we'll start off with Cincinnati and Kansas. 4.5-point favorite of the Jayhawks at home. The over-under at 57.5.
So, are we taking the winner or for the spread? What are we thinking?
Whatever you want. You can pick them outright for all I care.
I take a KU winner.
I think this game is going to be close, but I'm going to take the over in points. 57.5, I'll take the over. High-scoring affair there between the Jayhawks and the Bearcats. UCF, Kansas State. K-State, 6.5-point home favorites. I think I know where you're going here.
UCF covers. That's my thought.
Gosh. I think UCF's going to cover too. I don't know if K-State. I think K-State can win it, but God, they got to prove it something. They got to prove it to me.
Yes.
And I think UCF will cover at this point in time. Covers the 6.5. BYU, Colorado. Cougars, 6.5-point favorites on the road. I'm taking the Cougs.
Yeah, so am I. I think BYU is just too good.
Too old. Old men playing for BYU. Old men.
Come on.
And the big one on Sunday, the Ravens, 2.5-point favorites at the Chiefs. Over under 48.5, by the way.
I've got Ravens to win, I think.
I'm taking the over in points. I think we're going to have a little bit more offense. Give me over the 48.5. A little bit more offense, I think, in this one.
Okay.
There you go. Picks of the weekend. We got to get out of here. Don't forget to tune in tonight for high school football. Connor's got you on 100 Point to the right as Colby hosts Hugoton. And me, yours truly, will be here in Goodland, Cowboys and Longhorns of Holcomb. Have a great weekend. We're back on Monday. We'll see you then. It's been the Blitz.